Yo, what is going on? It's your boy JDM, Jason Dowdy Music. Welcome to this edition of Producing for Artists, the sessions. Like I mentioned before, I imagine probably not a lot of people saw my last stream. It's been 2 weeks. I may not be doing it every week doing a stream, but I did want to pop in and explain why, exactly what's going on, what we're going to do with Producing for Artists. So, Producing for Artists, the program, all of that, launching that business and all of that, I'm just going to put on the back burner for a little while. And that's because of the time commitment and the profitability of it. If uh, It's not worth the time investment now. So I'm going to really focus on just the sync placement stuff for a while, and because that seems to be bringing in the most revenue, right? It seems to be the most profitable, the thing, the seed that I've planted that's growing the most fruit. So I just wanted to hop in a little bit, explain what I've been seeing so far, and hopefully, if you've been thinking about making a little bit of money from your music, this will help you. So, oh, before we do that though, which means I'm not gonna be producingforartists.com is I'm gonna take that website down for a while. I'm not gonna pay that monthly fee to have all of that going. But jasondowdymusic.com will still be up, kicking, alive, and I'm just gonna keep adding any new courses that I create and stuff like that onto that site. So let me actually bring that up and share my screen real quick. And let me check the chat just to see if anybody's in there. All right, hold up, hold up. All right, I don't see any chats yet, but I'm not seeing the chat view. Bear with me one second. There we go. All right, cool. Oh, I have a pinned comment. All right. I'm going to actually change this to jasondowdymusic.com. There we go. All right, so I posted that in the chat, and I'm just going to share my screen real quick, and I'm going to bring up the chat overlay just to see if anybody is watching and has any questions so far. Give me a second. There we go, chat overlay. All right, cool. All right, so let me share my screen. I'm going to bring up jasondowdymusic.com just to show you where you can get some free stuff that might be helpful, especially if you are trying to make a little bit of money from your music. Whether you're a pop producer, you want to get into sync, anything like that. I have some things that might help you out. So let me share my screen. There we go. All right. Okay, cool. So here we are. This is the homepage. If you know anybody that wants to join this group who wants to learn more about making money from their music, they can just click here and it'll take you to that Facebook group. Right here is what I was talking about. So we have some free courses. I'll go ahead and hop on that. All right. So we have producing for free, producing for artists, songwriting, recording, and mixing, how to get your first sync placements. And then I have a couple of other paid like if you're interested in starting a beat store, how to make your beats more profitable and attract more artists to them, to make sure you're formatting it correctly, putting the right elements in, that type of stuff. Beat making secrets is a good course for that. And then there's the Sync Producer Hub, which is run by my boy Clint Productions. That is a monthly subscription, but it's just a community of people that are killing it in sync right now. So if you're interested in getting into sync placements, you could use my Get Your First Sync Placements course to figure out how to get your first ones. But if you want to take a deeper dive, find out from the professionals, people that are killing it over there, get all the tips and tricks in that community. That's a possibility for you as well. This is Clint Productions right here. Um, and then, mentorship and whatnot. I offer mentorship as well if anybody's interested in that. Let's talk about the free stuff. So there is a freebies tab here. If you go there, here's a few sample packs. There's 4 sample packs and drum kits and things like that. Comes with a license. It says it's completely royalty free. I will never chase you down if you happen to use a sample or something I created in your music. I just want you to use it, and if it makes something great, awesome. You make some money from it, awesome. I'm not going to chase you down. So, and there's even a written contract in there that says that. And then also down here, lots of free stuff. So how to make money as an artist, how to grow your audience, an AI songwriting guide, and if you click on that, you can see it all here. So contract templates, boost your social engagement, some producing for artist group resources, one shot pack, how to make money as an artist, all this stuff, right? So go crazy, all free. I just want to help people. All right, and let me go back to here just to see if there's anything else on this site that might be important for you. Um, Not really. I think mostly anybody watching this is probably a producer. You can see samples of my sync work, but that doesn't really affect you. Contact, if you ever want to hit me up, hit the contact page and email me and I'll hit you back. All right, cool. All right, so let me stop sharing my screen. Actually, I'm going to share a different screen now, but first I'm going to check the chats real quick. I don't see a chat there. Let me go to this chat. I don't see a chat there. I'm not sure if chats are working correctly, though, to tell you the truth. Give me 1 second here. Hmm. Alright. Alright, cool. No, I'm not seeing any comments. Alright. So I'm gonna share my screen and go over, the results I've seen from sync licensing so far. Let me pop over here. Let me share a different screen. And actually, I wanna do a side by side, keep my face going here. Alright. Well, that's kinda small, but, well, whatever. I'm gonna take the chat overlay down just so we have a little more real estate so we can see what's going on a little bit better. Alright, here we go. Okay, so first I'm going to share my access, my member access tab at ASCAP to show the placements that I have so far. And this list will grow and grow and grow. Um, Probably about, I would say well, maybe like 2 or 3 months ago is when I started really at least doing at least one sync placement track a week. I shoot for at least two. Some weeks I can do it, some weeks I can't. But as you can see, these are the placements that I have. Just had a new one come in, Expedition Unknown. That's on the Discovery Channel. But here they all are. And you can drill in there, open it up, see the episode that you're on, look at the cue sequences. And I know I brought this up before, but let's go ahead and go to the bottom and I'll show you how many cue sequences there are in one single episode of television. And this is a 44-minute show, 68. So the opportunity to have any of your music in a TV show is huge. If they're using 68 cues for a short show like this, um, that gives you an idea of how easy it is to get on a show. Well, not easy. I mean, you still need to have high quality music. It has to be formatted correctly. It has to be mixed well. All of that type of stuff. But the demand with all of the different streaming services and video games and podcasts and everything else that's just streaming everywhere now, there is a demand for music. So you can get your foot in the door a lot easier now. All right. So here's one of my pieces, long search, 17 seconds of music here. And you can see that I'm a composer, and there's also Michael Raffone, who is he works with the music library, and he's actually a curator. So some of the deals that you might get if you are shopping music libraries and things like that is they may take a percentage of the royalties for curating, approving, making sure that the quality is there, and things like that. He didn't actually compose any of it, but he did. He has a relationship with the music supervisor, um, knows exactly what they're looking for. He reviews my music, and if any changes need to be made, he can put those suggestions, and I can make the edits and send it back. I've been pretty good with this music library so far. Haven't had a lot of requests to change anything because we've been on the same page, which makes their job a lot easier, right? All right, and then I think I have one more cue on this one. Yeah, here we go. Um, Cue number 59, a minute and 10. All right. So now let me share. I want to share a breakdown of the placements and how much each one I suspect will be paying in future royalty statements. So, just to let you know, royalties normally get paid out about 6 to 9 months after the cue sheet has been submitted. So when you go in here, like let's go back to the cue sheet. Here we go. Let me actually go to the description of this. All right, details right here. You can see this was the air date, but you want to look at the date that they actually submit the music to the to ASCAP to your pro. So, and I may need to adjust my spreadsheet because I just found this out from my boy Clint Productions. Um, that it's actually when they submit it. So it's not necessarily the air date. So either way, this is going to be in Q4 because October, November, December, that's Q4. Either way, it's going to be in part of the same quarter, so it'll be part of the same check. You get a check every 3 months. Normally, it would be uh, 6 months after the quarter ends. It's like 6 months and 2 weeks. So, for example, I got paid on October 15th for Q1 of this year. So January, February, March, all of those things, all of the music that got placed in that time frame of 2024, I got paid on October 15th for that. If that gives you a rough idea. So it is a little bit of a long game. You have to invest today on what you're going to get tomorrow. So keep that in mind. All right. But if I go back here, you can see the date that it came to ASCAP is right here, December 3rd. There we go. And normally this date, if you're with ASCAP as well, will show the last queue that was added. It'll show the latest date for that. All right, let me share my spreadsheet on this real quick. All right, here we go. Let me see what that looks like. Make sure you can see this well. All right, awesome. And if you're chatting into me, I'm sorry. I'm trying to see the chats on this live stream, and for some reason, having trouble seeing them. Oh, let me expand comments. Hold on. Let me do this. All right, cool. Awesome. So if anybody's chatting in, I'm sorry if I don't see it, but I'll definitely hit you back later if you have any questions. But going back to these placements, so this is my estimation. So going back to, I put the date aired and then the ASCAP date as well. So the ASCAP date I found out is the one that actually matters. 1108 is in Q4 of 2023, right here. So that was on its own check, and it was $49.80. And then I looked at Q1. That's the one I got paid for in October 15th, but it was for January, February, and March of this year. That was $498.57. It was actually a little more. There were some other, small streaming things from my other music, not necessarily the ones that are placed in TV, but like I have a few tracks on, oh, what's the name of that site? I don't even remember, but it could be from BeatStars, it could be from Spotify, it could be from this or that. But this gives you a rough idea. All right. So, so now let's look at future payments. So I looked at all the ones I did a little bit of math. So based on the placements that I have so far, these are the ones that are mostly on NBC, Dateline NBC. It's about $3.80 for every second of music that you have. So if you have a 17-second piece of music, you'd multiply that times, $3.80, and that's roughly what the payment amount that you would get for that show. So obviously duration does matter. I think if there's no dialogue going on above your music and your music is showcased and featured, that matters as well. I don't have any music like that necessarily placed anywhere, so I don't know what the difference is. But about $3.80 if you have 100% of the royalties. You can see down here, I started to get 85% of the royalties. So I put more, let's see what the formula was I used. 3.3, so more like $3.30 when I have 85% of the royalties. So that being estimated on the cues that I got, January 15th should be somewhere around $307.80. And then here's all the Q3 stuff, which should be about $467.40. And then I really started to put in the work um, about, I would say after I saw that check in October, I started to make a lot more tracks and send a lot more tracks in because I realized it was real money. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem like you're ever gonna get paid, you know what I mean? When you first start off or when you get $100 check, you're like, "Oh, this isn't even worth my time." Believe me, it can be worth your time. This stuff adds up. So, as you can see for the expected amount in July is around $2,000. Um, Now, some of these placements are not with Dateline NBC, like these two from Expedition Unknown, for example. I have a few from Top Chef. Um, so, with a major network, I think that's on a tier that's different from a cable network or a streaming service or something like that. So, these numbers may not be 100% correct, uh, but it gives you an idea of how much can be made. And you have to keep in mind the more you build up your catalog with a music library, the bigger your catalog is, the more things TV music supervisors have to choose from to, you know, like your catalog's bigger, you have a higher chance of your stuff being picked for shows. As you continue to build your catalog, like I probably have maybe 30 songs in this catalog right now, 30 pieces of music. Um, but let's say you had 200, 300, 400, 500, right? The chances of yours getting picked as a music supervisor searching a music library is a lot higher. So keep that in mind, that it will snowball. So even though, 2000 may not seem like a lot of money, it I mean, it's something, right? I mean, it's not nothing. But it may not seem like a lot of money to you as far as like, oh, actually, I want to quit my job and I want to do this or that. It adds up, and if you build that catalog and you keep it going, there is going to be a snowball effect. You're just going to see it kind of go up and up and up from there. All right. So we're going to keep an eye on this. I'm going to do a few more live streams showing the actual results when these checks come in to see how good my math is, see if it's close, see which date matters. I believe it's the ASCAP date, the date that they actually submit it to ASCAP versus the date it airs, but I'll double check that and make sure. Uh, yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about in this live stream. I'm gonna go back to work now. I'm gonna start making some music while I have the chance to, like I said, get this snowball going. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick. All right, and I'm just gonna check my chats real quick, see if anybody's chatting in, and if you are, I apologize that I can't see it. All right, here, let me go here and mute this. And oh, you know what? I'll click on this link. I bet this will bring me to what I need. Okay. Comments. All right. Awesome. I'm not seeing any comments. I'm not seeing anything in the live, which is just fine. But if you are watching this later and you have any questions, you want to know more about sync licensing, like I said in jasondowdymusic.com, the website that's pinned in this chat and it's on my homepage and everywhere. JasonDowdyMusic.com. Go there. If you go to the Learn button, there's a free course on getting your first sync placements. You can start there. If you want to learn how to, create a beat store, any of that type of stuff, or you're a new producer and you want to figure any of that stuff out, hit me up. I don't charge anything to help. I really honestly just want to help any producers out there that want to kind of find ways to make money from their music. I don't have all the answers, but it seems like some things are starting to click and starting to figure some things out. So hit me up if you want the help. But until then, master your craft and create your future.